dey work all day, and we never look another man plate. Say we never judge another man case.
All right, well, that was a meeting. Do you feel like I gave good answers, Keon?
Yeah, actually, yeah. It was actually really good.
Bro, I'm falling asleep. Could you tell while I was talking?
No, because you freaking bring up the Logitech thing, and this thing is heavy. It's like 10 bricks. As soon as the call is about to end, I was like, yes. And then this dude's like, oh, how'd the Logitech thing go? I'm like, bro, are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is a very immersive documentary vlog.
Oh, bro, that thing is like burning up my crotch.
It's just hot?
Yeah, because like you didn't hear the fans going on?
No. Did you put on radio focus?
Yes, because it kept snapping back and forth, so it's getting on my nerves.
How'd you put it on?
Just click that.
Camera guy, I didn't know how to do that. Alright. Alright.
Oh my gosh, bro. And it's hot in here too.
Yeah, bro, shooting a documentary isn't for the faint of heart.
It really isn't.
Quality's worth it though.
I think that was a cool clip though.
What I just did?
Like, no, just this meeting in general.
Oh yeah.
I think it would be a cool clip.
Think people will get something from it? Yeah, it's not sturdy. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Look, it's literally being held up by that little.
Yeah, I see. I didn't notice that before. Yeah, I think people would get something from it.
What'd you get
for
from
sure?
Nothing.
Imagine. Nah. Honestly, for pre-production, it goes a lot more goes into it than just the look. You know. Especially for when it comes to the spec ad stuff, like it's cool to say, like you could just make a cool commercial for a brand without like actually telling a story that won't separate you from everybody else.
Yeah.
I think that was the best thing that you said.
Hey, let's go. I said some good things actually. Let's go.
Not bad.
Thanks. All right, so today we are spending a fun Friday with friends, you know, because we only got a couple of weeks left here. So we're trying to spend the most of it with friends and people. So yeah, right now we are heading out. We're going to the office right now because we got to film something pretty important. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're planning on doing. I might switch to 24-70 just because Keon is gonna film on this camera, Anna.
Huh?
You're not taking your camera at all, right?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna film on the 24-70. So, we're gonna switch lenses real fast.
Spaghetti.
Okay. No promises.
Say we dey walk all day. Say we dey walk all day. And we never look another man plate. Say we never judge another man case. Oh. I know fit talk again. Oh, I know fit talk again.
Just get in the call.
I got my body with a bit Beyonce. Say money, 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 money. Say my only need money, money. Now I only need money, money. Oh, I need money, 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 money. Said I only need money, money. Now I only need money, money.
Yeah, you see the valley of the shadow of the death I walk there. You can't bring a burner to spiritual warfare.
So I think it might be like Nike or Adidas. And he was dead serious, and I go, wow, how did you even get that far? How did you even get to the conversation of getting that?
3, 2, 4. Did I time it properly?
Stop, family.
See, that was perfect. Saw
What's
that?
up, family?
What's good, bro?
Yeah, bro. Dang, big mic.
Damn it. My fucking keyboard.
What is this for here?
No, not you.
Damn.
Damn, I got it. I said some crooked shit on here. Alright,
Hey, it's good to see you, man.
thanks, bro. I just gotta go through all these emails real quick.
But you opened all of them. Sorry, I was listening to Deftones, so I had to. Swear, man. What's Deftones? Rock band.
I got one more thing to do,
Alright. Oh, you got one of those.
and then I'm done ski.
Bro, this is in log, bro.
That's fine. Bro,
And this too, in log.
This is the picture I was talking
that's
about.
actually hard. Oh my god, that's crazy.
That's what I'm telling you, bro.
Bro, this office actually goes crazy because of sunlight.
It does,
Yeah.
bro. That's the thing. The reason why I got this is
Wait, why don't
because
you record
I
it?
can I can.
Oh wait,
have-
that's that?
Yes,
That's
bro.
crazy, bro.
So
Wow.
that's what I'm saying. Like I got this second phone
Damn.
because it's like I make it look like Fujifilm.
Yeah.
So clean, bro. I'm actually so happy I got it.
Yeah, this phone is actually tough.
The 16 actually is way better than the 15, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
You're probably the only person that's probably true for. Because, like, you can actually show
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Bro, this was.
Because even in photos, bro, in increasing the ND.
Bro, this was almost at like 10 p.m.
Wait, how long were we... That's hard.
How long are we
It
running
was
the video
so
for?
Yeah.
freaking dark outside.
Bro, it's not gonna be long at all.
Alright.
Literally, I want to just do like 20 minutes maybe.
Alright, cool. Alright, you guys want to get set up? I'm going to be done in like 5
Bet.
minutes.
It's called just hire VAs, and
That's actually
And,
kind of what it is. That's crazy. Let's restart.
it's called
this.
delegation, actually. All right. So today we're just gonna kind of go over, the beginnings of Content Lab and kind of how that business ran. I just kind of wanted to have you guys introduce yourselves so that the people can know and kind of hear about how we actually started that business.
Yeah. So my name is Nitin. I kind of did like the business behind what Content Lab was. I didn't really have any experience with videography or really like any service based thing. So I had zero. I had zero. Huh?
Why is he laughing? Keep going.
I had zero experience when it came to content, and I think it shows with the way that things panned out.
Yeah.
However, I think what it did do is like show what was possible because we got it to a really like big level really quickly and work with big people. I just think that looking back, my approach was incorrect. Because I'd kind of taken what I learned from other businesses and applied it to something that I didn't know about. But that was kind of my involvement in Content Lab
Fire,
for the
fire.
most part.
You want to go or should I go first?
Wait, who was the first hire between
Me.
Oh, you were first. Okay.
All right. My name's Keon. All right.
Let's get it, Kean.
Nah, but
Sounds like an AA meeting. My name is Keon.
never mind. Yeah. Can we just restart this, bro?
No, bro, we can't keep restarting.
No,
this, bro.
I'm saying like my part.
No, just talk, bro.
All right,
Just
all
talk,
right.
bro. It's good.
Yeah, my name's Keon. What did I do for Content Lab? I was really the backbone, if you think about it. Like, I was a mascot, cheerleader, backbone. I was always at home, like when they were out traveling, just making sure everything was running. I was really running the main operation as the graphic designer and video editor.
Fire.
The only part of that was true was the last 4 words.
Okay. My name is Kalebi. I was the last hired on, and then the company failed.
Last hard on. Last hard on.
So I think for a month, I was just like an intern,
Yeah.
just being at the office, watching everybody and seeing what they're doing and stuff and learning. Then we went on a trip for one of the clients. Are we saying clients' names?
Yeah, we can.
We can say that one.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
We can say clients.
Yeah, we went like client, like.
Oh.
No, right?
Don't say that name. Just say
Yeah.
the main name.
Yeah. So we went for.
No, the other one. You stupid fuck. God damn.
No, just
I just- we went-
No, you're not joking.
He's like, I kidding.
went on a shoot for
Damn.
Deion Sanders
You actually gotta cut that
in
part.
Colorado.
I'm
No,
gonna
you're
mute
gonna
it.
just
I'm gonna
leave
mute
it.
it.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
gonna just bleep it.
And I said like
That's
the
a bit
legal
funny.
Yeah,
names right now.
I know.
So we went to this trip to Colorado to film. I went there without knowing that I was getting paid.
Yeah.
What was I getting?
Now you went assuming
Assuming that was good. Like, yeah, I was gonna
just
get paid
internship.
something, but I didn't
Yeah.
know the amount and
Yeah.
stuff. And then Nathan put me to the side and said he was paying me whatever. After that point, I think like took like a week or two, and then Nathan called me to like get to the company and like give me a job and everything. But the cool thing about it is like, cool thing for me, it's probably sucked for them. I didn't know anything about content. I didn't know how to edit like a freaking video or nothing. So they hired somebody who didn't know how to do anything. Maybe that's one of the biggest mistakes in the company. Maybe. But for me, I'm grateful. I got in. Then I learned how to edit and everything. Shema taught me everything about it. And that's it.
Yeah.
Fire. Yeah, so I guess one of the biggest questions that like always came up was like actually like how were we able to get to, you know, $30,000, $40,000 months? And like I guess we can kind of break that down first of like how we kind of got to that point. I'll start off by saying like we got the privilege of getting to work with Abraham Gray as like one of my first clients. He's the one that I talk about when I started like the whole story of, you know, just working at a cookie shop and working in McDonald's and all that stuff to then, you know, I came in the front door. He saw like one of my pieces of content, and that's like why I always tell people personal brand is like the most important thing because that's actually how you get seen. And it was actually Nitin. You saw my video, right?
Yeah.
And then you were like, okay, he's the guy to do this job. And I came in, and when I came in to do the negotiations and stuff like that, I was like, I'm going to say the highest number, because I just recently learned this off of like a YouTube video, say the highest number and then see what they say. And so I sat down, it was me, you, and Abraham, and then you guys said what you needed, and I was like, And I started like doing the math in my head, and I was like, all right, I'll do it for $1,100 a week. And then he was like, okay, start Monday. I was like, what the, like, it was crazy for me because I never experienced that. I was 19. And like, I mean, for you hiring me at that point, like, what was that like, I guess?
Yeah, it was crazy for me too because you said the number. He was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Wait." When you left, I was like, "We definitely could have negotiated that." he was like, "It is what it is." Yeah. So like, I remember. So Abraham had put out like a Facebook post of like, "Hey, we're looking for a videographer," and at the time, I'd kind of told Abraham like, "Hey, you should start kind of getting a better social presence." And so my goal was just to create his social brand. Like it wasn't for anything else. And so he put it out there and we got like 60 people that submitted their portfolios, and all of it was like old ass type of content. Like I'm talking like people would be like, "Oh, I filmed like my friend's graduation," and then like, or like I shot this and that, and it wasn't content, you know, it wasn't like what worked today. And I knew that it had to be someone young, like someone that watches content themselves. So when I saw yours, it wasn't perfect. Like I remember exactly the video. It was a day in the life vlog.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like the best video I'd ever seen, but I saw, you know, that you knew content now as opposed to like content 10 years ago. Yeah. And so that was the main reason why I saw it. And I was like, yeah, this is the guy.
Shout out Franklin, by the way. I actually didn't even apply for the position at all. Franklin just suggested me. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like at that point, that was, I guess, the beginnings of everything. And I guess we spent like the first like 2 months just like stacking up on content and filming for Abraham every single day.
Yeah. At the time we were posting daily and then 2 YouTube videos a week, and we stockpiled like 3 months worth in like a month and a half.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember I'd come to work every day, and like my whole goal was like, I'm gonna work here until I can buy myself an FX3. At the time I had like an A6400 with like a kit lens and all that stuff. And so like I was just doing with what I had at that point. And then like as time went on, I kept telling Nan, I was like, Nan, should we just like get the FX3? Like what should we do and stuff like that? And then I think we just sat with Abraham and we were like, yeah, this camera would be better for this. And he was like, all right, buy it. So then we bought it, and then I got my first experience with the FX3. And then we hired on my friend Muggs, and he was on the team like probably at the 4th month that we were working together. And so we started just grinding from there. Like we split up the work and we just started just putting in hours in the office and stuff. And then the company started growing. And I think it was after like 6 months that we were like, you know what, let's see if we can take on some more like clients and stuff. And then we got Keon. Keon, how was that for you? Like when we first got you, bro.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest, I thought I wasn't gonna get a job. But it was actually perfect timing for me because I around then, I was doing an internship with this one company, and like I don't have like any like traditional training in graphic design. It was just something that I always just gravitated towards. So I was kind of blessed even with that internship. So after that was kind of coming to an end. And then I forgot, it was one of the events, I don't remember which deal maker it was, but it was one of the events we had went to. I was just like, yeah, let me just come and like, just try and connect with anybody, you know, see what I can do to be able to put myself, because like before that I had no real experience like networking or putting myself out there. So that's really kind of why I went.
No.
And then I forgot how I even wound up, can I say Chris's name? But
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I don't remember like how I wound up meeting Chris, but it was at the event, and then I was just talking to him about like how I'm a graphic designer, how I wanted to help him out with his branding and everything like that. And he was really the first client I wound up bringing on for myself to like, because I wanted to like help you guys out as far as Abraham stuff, but like there was no real need for my services at the time. So I kind of used Chris as a gateway to be on the team, and then from there like as the work started to pile up, as we got like more clients and stuff like that, that's when there was a need for not only like a graphic designer but like another editor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to. I mean, were you about to say something?
Yeah. So what that scenario was from my perspective, and I guess it's like a kind of a big ongoing theme with Content Lab specifically, was like I wasn't investing necessarily in like the quality or like the experience of people, but like the people themselves. And like when I hired you, like initially it was because I saw your content, but the reason why, like, because there was other people that joined Content Lab that didn't work out, and the difference was work ethic, responsibility, and stuff that like even if you're the best content creator in the world, like that doesn't matter. And so when Keon came along, it wasn't that I didn't like think that Keon was capable, but I felt like he saw two friends get hired and like didn't like wanted to be there, but like I didn't feel like I'd seen enough. Yeah. And so what I told Keon was, if you get a client and it pays for you, let's absorb it as a client and you work for Content Lab, and we'll try to increase your pay later down the road. But I want you to like prove that you can do it. And that did two things. Like I'd be lying to say that it didn't help out because it paid for somebody. But the second main reason was I wanted to know that he was capable. You know, I wanted to know that he had like responsibility to be able to like manage a client on his own. Yeah. And so that was the main reason why Keon worked out and ended up becoming a part of Content Lab. Kalebi was a similar thing. Like my thought with Kalebi was like,
Not gonna let me tell my story. Cool.
no, you can tell, but I want to say from my perspective. Like my thought was Kalebi was like, I want someone that like would work without expectation. But like I think like a lot of this is a lot of hard work. Like whether you're doing it on your own or you're a part of your team, like it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of like non-rewarded hard work for a very long time. Yeah. And like Kalebi never asked me for money, never asked for an opportunity, but anytime we needed someone, Kalebi was there. Yeah. And then when he came to the shoot, he literally flew across the country. Obviously we paid for his flight and everything, but like it was still like time away from anything else that he could have been doing. And like they're stressful. Like these trips are fun, but they're extremely stressful. It's long hours. We're working like 15, 16 hours a day. We're barely sleeping. We're getting up the next day and like we're making sure everything is right. And I'm a very stressed out person, and I make everyone around me extremely stressed out. That's just how I operate. And Kalebi did all that thinking that he wasn't going to get anything. And he'd worked a month for us prior. And at that point I was like, this is just the type of person that like will do whatever needs to get done. So that's why Kalebi was on our team.
I mean, and then Kalebi, you can.
So how I got hired, right? Shema got in contact with me because we go to the same church, and then he just told me that I knew he had like this job and everything. At the time, the only thing that I would make like close to content and stuff, I'll make some like little videos on like CapCut. Me going on a trip and things like that, having fun, and then I'll post on my Instagram and stuff like that. And then Shema was like, "Dude, I need somebody on the team and stuff. We're looking to hire someone, but the only person like at our church or community that I see like I would love to have in the team with us would be you, and like not be really honest, not because of your skill and stuff. I can teach you a lot, but because of your work ethic. I know you have work ethic. And I know you're willing to work hard.
Even past the language barrier, we were like, we can figure this out.
Yeah. We can use Google Translator, but you work hard. That's all we need, you know? I was like, oh, okay, bet. During that time, I had just left like a job that I was working before. I was doing like house cleaning and stuff. And then I was like, okay, I'll take this chance. And then I took this chance for like a whole month. Was it a whole month? I think it was a whole month.
Yeah.
It was a whole month where like I was living with my parents at that time, and I told them like, I'm gonna go to this place and like give it a try, but like I cannot work right now and stuff. So I had like some savings, and I was like, dude, like during that time, you guys would go like to work, and every day we were eating out. And I'm like, bro, I'm just seeing my savings going. I'm like, brother, oh my gosh, if this doesn't work out, like I'm screwed. Like a whole month of just like buying food, and then I just like got to meet like Nathan. I already knew Keon. I got like more closer with the guys and stuff at the office and everything. But I saw how they had their goals. I saw how you guys like are very like ambitious to grow the company, and I needed to learn a skill. I always wanted to learn something that was like is gonna be like I can build this, you know, even if I get fired later on, and like I have a skill. I want to learn a good skill, you know. And then you guys taught me that, and then I was like, dude, I'm loving this. But for the first month, we thought nothing, and then like the month ended, and there's no like, hey, we're gonna hire you. I was like, hey, Caleb, thank you. I was like, hey guys, this is like last Friday here. I'm gonna like get a job like next week and stuff. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And then like. And I was like, all right, bet. And then I just left, and then I was like, oh, nice. And then until they called me for that trip, so I was like, oh, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I think like the biggest theme I would say for like everybody that was part of Content Lab was just like we were all able to learn a skill. Like you said, like you were able to learn, you know, videography and editing. And Keon he already knew graphic design, but he was able to add editing, videography to his, you know, toolkit. And Nitin got to learn content at that time, and I was able to learn content as well. And just like how to, especially from Nitin, I learned how to do like a lot of sales. And like the biggest thing that he told me was just about client relationships. Like that was like the biggest thing that I learned. And I would say like that is the reason we were able to scale all the way up to $30,000, $40,000 months, was because we had such great relationships with our clients that we had. So like building that up and not even just hyping ourselves up, but delivering on the products that we said that we were going to deliver on, like was a very key factor to how we were able to grow. I think like the first month when the full team was on, I think we made like 25,000 or something like that. We had onboarded 3 new clients from these deal maker events. They were real estate investors. And so we were able to get the company up to $25,000 a month. But this is where we started to see certain shortcomings coming in, where we realized our payroll was a lot higher. Because I think our payroll was, because I was the one that was doing payroll at the time. I think it was like $17K for all of us. And so like we realized like even at $25K, like there's like not great, you know, profits. So like we were able to scale it up, get it to 30, 40. But then we realized the things that we were delivering, was a lot for the amount of money that we were getting paid for. And like we can all attest to the nights that we spent editing. Half of that fault being us being procrastinating, half of that part. But then the other half just being like, this is a ridiculous workload. I would say like, I don't think we were ever late. Like I think he stressed us out enough to where like we would do it like early. Like we would get 60 shorts and 8 YouTube videos per person done in like a week and a half or 2 weeks, because he would always be like, no, we got to deliver them soon, like now, like. And then I just remember one of the nights where we stayed up like all the way through the night, just editing here at the office.
I remember it. Let me see. Bro, nah, I remember that night for sure, but like I remember like it was probably a couple months before like Content Lab was done. Dude, I found out like we're turning this stuff in early, bro. So I'm like, what am I getting stressed out about? Like, this dude is stressing me out. Okay, I know I got this much stuff to edit. Like, I got this many thumbnails to make, whatever. And it's like, bro, this isn't due for another 2 weeks. You kidding me? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, that was fine though. That was good.
No, it was definitely good. Like, it definitely got me, but like in a position where I'm just, you know what? Let me just get it done so I can have it done already.
Yeah, I don't even know if I've ever said this. This was my strategy going into Content Lab. Was like no, like because there was one. Was like I wanted to get as many clients as we could quickly, and then start becoming more selective. Like I think like like one of the things that is super important in general is like make sure you have boundaries. Don't always say yes to your clients. Like there's things that you can and can't do 100%. But in the beginning, you need to pick up traction.
Yeah.
And like, I think people overestimate how particular they need to be with that early on. And I will still stick by that. What I did wrong though was, okay, we picked up clients and then we got to 25. And I was like, dang, like if I just continued to use that, right? And like give into clients and be really like, as opposed to having packages, we created whatever they needed and we picked a dollar amount that made sense. And if they couldn't physically afford that dollar amount, okay, I adjust our dollar amount so that we can get the client. And I kept doing that until 40,000. And what that did was it put too much workload on everyone to where I would need a bigger team, but we're not making enough money every month to justify a bigger team. Yeah. So I overpromised and I undercharged. Yeah. Right? So that was where I went wrong. What I should have done is like once we got to like 25, 30, I should have adjusted the strategy. Every client from that point forward should have been a strict guideline because we no longer needed it. We could all survive and be a company as opposed to trying to grow too quickly, but then like have those shortcomings.
Yeah. I think that was like a really big lesson that like even I learned. I think one big thing that we did too that like I learned after this experience of Content Lab, like to give everyone context, Content Lab lasted like what, 2 years? Almost 2 years. And you know, it was like the tail end of like the last 8 months where we were doing $30,000, $40,000 months. But one of the biggest lessons that I learned too, and it's something that I like to tell people that are like, I tell you guys this all the time. It's like, don't charge for the quantity of work. And I think during Content Lab, we were charging for quantity of work.
100%.
So it was like every short was like $100. And like when you add that up, it's like you want to do more shorts to make more money, but is that worth the amount of time, right?
He thinks they were $100. They were like $30.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're way cheaper than that.
Bro,
Yeah.
$30?
Yeah.
I'm
we
not-
were
I'm not
doing
gonna
like
crash out.
we were doing
I'm
like
not
a
crashing
full
out.
YouTube video, like crazy, like elaborate YouTube videos with filming for like $500-$600. But they were like, I'm talking like
just filming,
very
directing,
elaborate.
Oh, directing,
producing,
writing.
Oh yeah.
Like we wrote
Yeah.
out a whole, like completely done for you. Clients didn't touch nothing. We
Bro,
came
it
there and
actually
press
was,
record.
everything was done for you for $500. That's a
100%.
steal.
Yeah.
They got a deal.
They did get a
Yeah.
deal. They didn't have to lift a finger,
Yeah.
which is crazy. All
They
they
just
had to
had to
do was
show
just
up.
give us. They just had to give us revisions, and they had a lot.
Yeah.
But one thing I'll say is like we definitely undercharged for the services that we were giving. Like each of those clients could have well over been like $15K each.
Yeah.
And we could have been at $100,000 months, you know? But one of the biggest things that I did learn, like I said, was like, you know, being able to sell, first of all, the value of the product rather than the quantity or the amount that we were, like the amount of per short, you know? And I think that like, that's helped me to be able to charge this. There was a client that we had that was like $4,000 that we were doing 30 shorts and 4 YouTube videos. Whereas like now I can charge, you know, the same 4,000 for 8 shorts.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, it's funny, like I'm decent at sales, like I can get them. What I would have done differently now also, and this is not like I'm not like I just thought of this, like you have said it a lot, but my pitch was always, I'll tell you my exact pitch, and it's gonna run like 30 seconds. I was always like, podcasts are the biggest net. Because you can turn that podcast into X amount of longs, X amount of shorts, and then you can get so much volume and you're putting out quantity. And I would like point to people like Gary Vee, who's like posting like fucking 15 times a day. And I'd be like, see, like he's getting traction. But I only did that not because I thought, I didn't think it was a bad strategy. I think people could be successful doing that.
Yeah.
But I knew it wasn't the only. Yeah. I knew that you could be successful posting literally 2 shorts a week, 1 long a week, even 1 long every 2 weeks and still be successful. But I pitched it like that so that we could sell volume, and my pitch never shifted. Like my pitch should have shifted, like, because these people that were coming to us as clients at the time weren't like well-versed people on social media. They were asking us to become the experts. Yep. And the first meeting I meet them, I tell them, I'm like, yeah, it's all about volume and putting it out there so that you can like cast a wide net. And it was all with the intention of like, okay, I'm planning on selling them volume so that we can get a big sale. But the truth of the matter is I should have really focused on quality of each piece of content and been like, actually, the people that are more successful, Mr. Beast posts once a month, but he creates like the most elaborate, amazing video ever. I could have easily pitched that. I just educated my client wrong.
Yeah. I definitely think that that's like a big thing because now it's like what I tell the clients now is like, look, like I can spend all this time and make 30 shorts that are just flies on the wall that are hopefully going to hit. Or we can make 10 really solid ones that not only you can just post on your page, but you can use for ads in the future that still follow a content strategy, that have storytelling. It's hard to do storytelling for 30 days of shorts for 5 different clients, you know? 100 and what? That's like almost 150 shorts. At one point, I think we were at 180 shorts that we had to get done and like 15 videos in a month. So it was like,
4 people.
Yeah,
4 people.
4 people.
And all 4 didn't have the same skill level, meaning like only 2 could do certain things, the other 2 could do certain things, 1 could do one thing. And so it's like now everyone has to touch each other's work. And it wasn't like, oh, you're delegated this. It was like, he's gonna do this. Then once he's done, you gotta do that. And it was just a lot.
Yeah, and also like another thing, whenever you're pushing so much content out and you have like this one person editing like 26 shorts in like 48 hours, you get the 24 shorts, but like they're so bad. They're like terrible.
It'd be really bad.
Like we would have like a strategy the way we would make it the shorts so we could be able to deliver them like super fast.
Yeah.
They're not like, okay, terrible is like a strong word to it, but it's like it's not something like that you can take too much time on it, because if you take too much time to try and be creative with one short, then you're not gonna get things done. So we had like this strategy, like this form that we would do, just like lay this out, use this thing, this AI here that's gonna cut it. You have this caption, just throw it on top, and then you're gonna get misspelling. You're gonna have like a bunch of like things that not making sense, or B-roll that we would use, like random B-rolls. It doesn't make sense, but like our brains are like fried at some point.
At some point it just cooked.
You know what's insane though? And like, I actually think this is like a universal thing. Communication solves so many problems. Like there was so much of that, but not one client, I think, based off the way we communicated, felt like it was beyond okay. Like communicating with clients does so much, like anything in life. If you follow up with someone and just show that you are attentive, even if you're late one time, for example, let's say you're late and you had never gave them a heads up that you were going to be late. Well, now you have a really bad reputation. But if you go, hey, we actually, like this scenario occurred, or you know what, I'm so sorry, but it's looking like it's going to get pushed back 3 or 4 days, and you give them a week heads up that it's going to be late. Now it's no longer late. Now it's communicated. You know? Or like giving status updates even when things are on time. Hey, we're actually like 30% of the way through. Everything is looking phenomenal. We're really proud of what it's about to show. That just shows that you're on it, you know? And like the perception of you is just as important as the product you deliver. We had clients, and like I think you've talked about it a lot. We had a particular client that was like a notoriously difficult person to work with. And at some point, let's say he knew one of us in the group had created something or put his hands on something, he'd be like, that's amazing. Even if it was literally the exact same video that someone else had created. But if that person said it, the thing is, I just don't like that. I just don't think that's a good video. And it was like, the only thing that was different was the perception. The only thing that was different was the perception of the person. At some points, to get around it, we just started calling it somebody else's. We just started being like, oh, this was this person's. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's actually a pretty decent video. And it's like, it's the perception of who communicated and how they came across.
I think the biggest thing that all of us learned is communication with clients, like how we're like perceived as the client. Because I think with Content Lab, a lot of us were able to hide behind that. We're actually able to hide behind you a lot. And I think that like, for me, at least, I was able to watch a lot of the conversations you had and be part of those like meetings that you had, to where like outside of that, now I'm actually utilizing those types of things. Like I remember I used to be like, bruh, like Nitin would get off a call and be like, he uses Nitin voice. Like he was just trying to like, he was trying to just sauce up the client and stuff like that. But now I do the same thing, you know?
Well, I always give this like example. It's like a duck on like the surface of water where it like looks like, oh, like this is like effortless, right? Like it's floating. And then you look below water and it's like kicking like hell. It's like those calls, you have to be calm, composed, and be the authority. If you give any like lack of confidence, lack of answer, even if the answer is wrong, and you see me give wrong answers a lot, the truth of the matter is a wrong answer said confidently is better than a delay. It's better than a it's better than like a I don't know.
You can just correct yourself and just be like, oh, I made a mistake.
Yep, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
You can correct that, but what you can't correct is you not being an expert in what you're saying. You know, like on a call, on meetings like that, you have to be composed and like know that I'm the expert here. Like I'm the person that needs to be the authority, like the, you know, like have the authority in this conversation. Yeah. And after that call, I'll be like, holy fuck, what did I just say? What did I just do? What are we going to say?
Bro,
what are we going to talk about?
We'd be on the calls and like, I would be like looking at Nitin like, bro, what? He would get off the call, I'm like, Nitin, why would you say that? Like, why would you tell them that we would do that? We are not doing that at all. It's like, it's super funny though. Like, I think, like just to kind of like get closer to like wrapping up, but like I think the biggest takeaways for me was like, or like the biggest thing that I think we could have, like at least for me, I could have done better in Content Lab was take more of that, you know, communicating with client role a lot earlier, because what that turned out to be was as soon as Content Lab ended, everything went to zero, because now the clients are communicating with different people that they haven't been used to communicating. So it took maybe a month and a half for all of them to drop off and just be like, yeah, we're not going to continue. Because technically, we stopped the company and we could have kept the clients that we had, but the clients were so used to communicating with Nitin, they didn't look at us as an authority, but they looked at him as an authority. Meaning like, we're not going to pay the same amount because I don't see you as the same authority as him. So it took maybe that month of January and February after we stopped for them to just drop off. And we went from 40,000 to zero. And we all kind of went our own ways and everything. But I think all the things that we kind of took away from Content Lab allowed us to build the businesses that we have today. Like with me, with my production company, Kalebi with his, and Keon with his own, and Nitin with what he's doing.
I'm unemployed in Shema. This whole thing was for Shema to give me a job.
No, actually, no. Tell them what you do, bro, before they actually think that's real.
So I manage like I manage a whole bunch of investor capital and I redeploy it into fix and flip properties. So I buy 15 to 20 properties to fix and flip per month in Atlanta. And then I also lend to other investors. So I currently manage a portfolio of like $30 million.
Exactly. So yeah, this is where we're at now. And were you about to say something?
Psych, Taco Bell.
No, that's crazy.
I was gonna say like my biggest takeaway from like Content Lab and stuff
is getting rid of the accent.
I wish, but was that the fact that like us working hard through those moments, of course, is like if you're starting like your like content agency and things like that, like learn from these mistakes, don't repeat them. But the fact that we will need to talk about working hard and stuff, like in the beginning you have to work hard. And one thing I learned with Abraham Gray, like one of our clients that like we look up to a lot because he's like this big businessman and everything. He's like, bro, you gotta stop laughing.
Yeah, are you laughing? He is, bro.
He is Big Daddy.
Bro.
Oh, wow.
You know I'm not cutting anything.
His
right?
big dog.
He's Biggie.
You need somebody else in the office say that this week? Where's Big Dog at?
Oh, dang.
All right. Anyways, but I asked him one time, like, what do you have to do to like you start a business, like to grow your business to be like successful? He's like, in the first like 5 years, or at least in the beginning, you have to grind. Like you're gonna have to work your butt off. And I was like, dang, that's true. Like you have to. Yeah. And like for the people that are like learning how to do content now, learning how to film, like in the beginning stages, you're gonna have to grind. Because first you gotta learn the skill. Yeah. Then like second, it's like you have to learn how to operate in the skill that you're in to become an expert, to like be able to do things fast, deliver on time and all that stuff. And then it comes the biggest skill that I think is the one I'm being challenged right now with, is with dealing with clients. Like it's like sales, definitely communicating. But those are the things like you have to really work hard through and like you focus on and keep grinding, you know? Yeah. Because those nights that we worked like late hours, or like the conference that we did, like Dealmaker Week and all that stuff, like, bro, now I feel like if I have to do a weekend that I need to work hard on the video and stuff, I can do it. Yeah. Like I know I'm capable of like staying the whole night to finish a video. Yeah. I don't want to do it, no. But if I have to, I know how to.
Like, you know, like that's a takeaway for me too. Like you guys saw that work ethic during that time. Like we're all working like crazy hours. Like you guys were probably working like 70, 80 hours a week. I was working because I had other companies too. Driving across the country, then go to like a 3-day conference and none of us sleep. You know, like, but all of that makes whatever I'm doing in the future look easy, you know? So, because it's a grind and you're making money and you have people relying on you. Like, that was the biggest thing for me. I think for Shema too, is like, we had people that relied on us. Like, that was our company, and they were like, you know, we just took on people and they gave up opportunities to be able to do it with us. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And so, like, the only thing that you can do out of respect is like give everything you got, whatever the hell that means. So, it now makes everything in hindsight just look like a breeze. Like, whatever I can do from this point forward, it's like those 2 years, literally nothing could be harder than that work wise. Like, nothing could.
Whiskey again.
Yeah, I don't think anything else will ever be that hard. I think for me right now, growing Framework has been that grind again, but I definitely feel a lot more capable than when Content Lab was, because of the things that I learned from Content Lab and from you guys. So like everybody here now is like, you know, thriving in their business and still growing in their business. And I think that like all of these lessons can apply to anybody, you know, anybody that's watching this, anybody that's going to take all the things that we talked about. Like Kalebi said, take what we talked about and do not repeat what we did that was wrong. That's the biggest thing. And just surround yourself around community, because I think that that's the biggest thing that has helped us in all that we've been doing here, is that like we've had each other to kind of like lean on whenever we had to get work done, or whenever, you know, at the beginning when I had to talk to clients, I would always call Nitin, what do I say? How do I do it? Now Kalebi's calling me and
dude, we're in that call this morning with a client that we're gonna work on this week, and she was like, "Oh, you have such like a big community of friends, like all your friends and stuff, like we have this community, like like people that are creative, people that work together, people that like do different things, but like if you need to like get on the phone call and ask them questions, I ask like business questions today and all the time, you know."
Yeah. So
Most of the time I don't understand.
that's crazy.
I type the question.
But yeah, no, like this has been a great one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys take the lessons that we learned, and don't make the same mistakes. But yeah, no, appreciate you guys for hopping on.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
He's in it.
Thank you, bro.
He's good. He's in it.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah, it's good.
I want to say bye to the audience.
Keon would have been my first fire.
Nah.
I think he was the first fired, bro. The last one standing was Kalebi.
I don't think I was ever fired.
Kalebi never was fired. He's technically still part of Content Lab.
I'm the last remaining soldier.
All right, let's get out of here. Oh, and that money just hit my account. What? I love that. Shema's not using that. I can tell you right now.
Oh, I actually am. That's perfect. I'm not gonna lie. Appreciate you guys. I didn't know that's how you guys felt about me.
We're doing Zelle, Venmo.